Hello students, I hope you had a good weekend. I'm sorry I can't be there. Please be courteous to Wendy as she is filling in for me. Remember to pay attention while you watch this video. Don't talk during the video. And then when the video is over, you're going to do your first pause and practice. After that, you'll have about 20 minutes to do your pause and practice, and then you'll go on to the second video. After that, you'll have the next pause and practice, and probably another 20 minutes or so, or however long it takes. And then once you have those done and submitted into Moodle, you'll be allowed to leave. You must have both of the pause and practices submitted, or you will be marked as absent. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about today is using footnotes and endnotes. So to create a footnote, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to place your insertion point directly after the word where you want your footnote to go. So if I want a footnote to go right here, I'm going to put my insertion point there. I'm going to click the References tab. I'm going to click the Insert Footnote button. So mine looks like this. Yours might look a little bit smaller, maybe like one of these. Now what that does, it brings you down to the bottom of the page, and it gives me a box to type in. So here I can type in a footnote. So my footnote says reference to page 4. Now I can also add an endnote. An endnote goes to the end of your entire document. So let's say I chose to put an endnote here. I'll put my insertion point where I want to create that endnote. Again, I'm going to go to the References tab, and then I'm going to click the Insert Endnote button. Now this adds a spot at the end of the document where I can put the endnote. So when you scroll back up through the pages, you'll notice that the footnote is at the end of the page, the footnote's on, and you'll see the little number 1 here that shows you there's a footnote. And then your endnote here shows is actually at the end of the document. Here. Now if you want to customize a footnote or endnote, we're going to select the References tab, which we're currently on. We're going to click the Footnotes Launcher. It's right here. And this opens the Footnotes dialog box. And in the Location area, you'll see you can choose footnotes or endnotes. And you can choose where they are displayed. So I can do end of a section or end of a document. Footnotes, I can do bottom of page or bottom or below the text. There's also this Convert button, which we'll use later, where you can convert endnotes to footnotes and footnotes to endnotes. In the Format area, you'll see where right now it has footnotes as being numerical, 1, 2, 3. I can also change them to letters, Roman numerals, and a couple others. I can choose a custom mark if I want to. And I could choose to be continuous or to start at each section or each page. When I'm all done with that, I want to apply the changes, so I can choose to apply to the whole document. If we had sections already settled in here, we could choose that. I can choose Apply, and applies those changes. If I want to modify the footnote or endnote style, I'm going to right-click the footnote or endnote and select Style. Here you can change the font and the formatting. So I can click Modify, and here I can change the font to something else. I can change the font size. I can make it bold or underline. And I click Apply again, and it will change it. Now notice it only changes the endnote, not the footnote. So if I wanted to change the footnote, I'd have to do the same thing. So now if I wanted to convert all of my notes, as I mentioned before, I would click the Footnotes Launcher. And then here this is the Convert button. So when you click the Convert, you have the option of converting all footnotes to endnotes, converting all endnotes to footnotes, or swapping footnotes and endnotes. So I'm going to choose Convert all footnotes to endnotes, click OK. So what that did is it made them all, so they're all endnotes now instead of footnotes. So I could also do it the opposite, where I made the endnote into a footnote, and I could also swap them so the endnote becomes the footnote and the footnote becomes the endnote. Now if I need to delete a note, I can select the reference marker in the body of the paragraph. Once I select it, I can press delete on the keyboard. And it removes it, and you want to check to make sure that it removes it at the end as well. And to notice that it is gone. The next thing we're going to cover is how to create a bibliography and inserting citations. So the first thing we're going to discuss is how to set the bibliography style of the report. So you're going to click the References tab at the top. You're going to click the Style drop-down area in the bibliography section. So right now you see it says APA. So there's other options as well. You might have heard people talk about MLA. We'll keep it on APA for now, but you can also change MLA if you needed to. Now if you wanted to add a new source, you're going to position your insertion point in your document at the point where you want your citation to be. So let's say I wanted to reference something right here. So I'm going to place my insertion point where I want this to show up. I'm going to click the Insert Citation button. So I have a big button, you might have a smaller one like these. And we're going to click Add a New Source. So this pulls up in a dialog box for us, and we're going to select the type of source that it is. So if it was a website, you could choose website. If you're taking it from a book, a journal, we'll do a website for now. Then you can click the Edit button to put an author in. So let's say we're going to choose myself for now. I can click Add. So if there was multiple authors, I could choose multiple. You can put the name of the web address. The name of the website, which could probably be the same. The year it was published. The month it was published. The day. And then the actual URL of the web address. So notice down here as I'm doing this, it gives me examples of what it is looking for. Now I can also click this button, Show All Fields, and it will give me a lot of other fields that are options for you. The ones that have red stars next to them are the ones that you should have according to APA style. So when you're done, you're going to click OK. And what this does is it puts what the citation for APA format should be. So you notice if I change my style to MLA, it changes what the citation looks like. So it's a pretty handy tool for those of you who have English and need to do this. Now if I want to insert a placeholder, so let's say I know that I'm going to have a reference and citation for this, but I'm not quite sure what the source is yet. I can put my insertion point where I want it to show up. I'm going to click the Insert Citation button again, but this time I'm going to choose Add a New Placeholder. And so you'll just type in what you think the placeholder will be. So let's say I'm going to reference Tribal College Journal. Spaces. Click OK, and it's going to put this in here for us. Now, to manage your sources, you're going to click the Manage Source button here at the top. Now, what this does is it will show you a master list of any sources you might have used in the past, and it will show you your current list of the sources you have in your document. Now, if they have a check, it means it's a ready cited source. If it has a question mark, that means it's a placeholder and still needs your information for the source. So I can also move things over, so I can use, let's say this is what I want to use again. You'll see down here as a preview of the citation and the bibliography entry, and I can choose to copy over into my current list. Now, it has no mark next to it because I've not yet used it in my document. I can also delete out of here. I can make a new one, like we already did once, and I can edit my current ones. So if I know there's something wrong in this one, I can edit it, change that information, and save it again. So I can also choose this one I don't have anything in yet. I can edit this here, and I can choose to put my information in. So again, I would need, if there's a different author for the book title, the year it was published, what pages you're citing from. So see here, for an example, let's say I'm citing page 51 and 52, the city it was published in, who the publisher was, and so now it has a check next to it showing that that information is in there. Now I can close this, and when I go to my placeholder, it automatically put in the citation for me. So the last thing you want to do is actually insert your bibliography for your paper. So to do that, you're going to position the insertion point in your document where you would like it. So normally you would do it at the end of your document. So I'll put my insertion point there. And a lot of times people will insert a page break, so it's on its own page. So we did that before by doing insert and doing a page break. And so that will make it so it's on its own separate page. So then we're going to select the bibliography button, which again is under references. And here you'll see where there's a bibliography, a reference page, and a works cited. So some of your teachers may require a reference page or a works cited or a bibliography. So we can click the built-in ones. So we'll already put it in there for you, plus your sources. And then as you add more sources, they'll update in here for you. You can also change it, so we can update, or we can change it. However we choose. So now you're going to go on to your first pause and practice. It's your chapter 3, starting on page W3-141. Remember, you will need to download your data files from the website on Moodle. And if you have any questions, you can certainly ask Wendy and see if she understands how to work that.